Hello friends, and welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Duel Stories. Yes, this might be a little out of left field considering the type of content that is prominently featured on this channel, but I've had a desire to go back and play this game, and I figured I'd let you all join me as I play it. Now, just a little backstory before I start. I started playing the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game all the way back when the first sets of the trading card game were being released in North America. And I'm talking Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon, Metal Raiders, Magic Rulers as it was called back then, and I've been a huge fan of the game ever since. I even still play into the modern era. But when it comes to the video games of Yu-Gi-Oh!, the first one I ever played was Dark Duel Stories. And funnily enough, it doesn't even follow most of the regular rules of the game. Yes, it does have a lot of the cards that were introduced at the time, and it followed a similar format of the game that we know now, but the overall structure of the game is vastly different than what we know today. And today, I seek to relive those ancient rules as I aim to get to the end of Dark Duel Stories. Now just let me start the game up here and I'll get more into the challenge that I've got for myself today in a second. Yes, I do need to delete the save data because I did need to make sure this worked. So let's begin. Hello Yami Yugi. Welcome to the world of Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Duel Stories. Before you start, input your duel name. That is the name I typically pick for myself in these. I will be Storm. Sadly, I can't use the start button to get to the end here. So here we are in the beginning of Dark Duel Stories. So now that I got that all set up, let me go over the challenge that I've got in this game. So in this game, you play the card game against various opponents in the campaign here. And each of these opponents are sorted into different tiers. So this is tier 1. The next set of opponents will be tier 2, and etc, and etc. And in order to progress to the next tier, I have to defeat every opponent in the current tier 5 times. And my overall goal is to reach what I call the Final Five of this game. So these 5 will be in the last tier of the game, and once I defeat each of those Final 5 once, that's it. The challenge is finished. Now, this isn't just like a standard game of Yu-Gi-Oh! There are some things about this game that kind of set it apart from other Yu-Gi-Oh! Games, and it's something that I kind of enjoy. It's 2 things in this game called the Duelist level and the deck capacity system. So I'm just going to kind of go over here to my deck here. Now, the deck you start with in the beginning is preset. There is no randomness to it, and the deck itself kind of sucks, but that's the fun part. We can build up from it. So one thing I will go over here, just so everyone's kind of on the same page. So every card in this game has what they call a deck cost. And you can kind of see there, it's right beside the number that says cost. So this case here, Sinister Serpent, has a cost of 5. And every card you put in your deck adds towards your deck volume, which is the number that's just above Sinister Serpent there, the one that says 354 out of 400. And if the cost of all of your cards does exceed your max volume, you have to replace cards in your deck until it no longer exceeds it. So your deck always has kind of a limit placed on it. And in addition to that limit, you yourself, as a duelist in this game, have a duelist level, which, as you can see right there, where it says duelist level 15. You are only allowed to put cards in your deck if the deck cost number of the card does not exceed your level. And your deck must also have 40 cards in it. So you might be thinking, wow, that's a lot of restrictions there. But it surprisingly isn't. Like, just by playing the game, like by defeating duelists in the campaign, you increase your deck capacity, you increase your level, and you always get cards as you win. So you're always progressing. And even when you lose, you still get duelist level and deck capacity upgrades, so it pays to play, basically. Now, with winning duels in this game, there is one small catch, and that's that you only receive 1 card every time you win. There is a system for card construction in this game, but I don't really use it very often, so I just kind of ignore it. Because all of the cards that you get from opponents are also random as well, to a degree, every duelist has their own pool of cards that you can win from them. I might not always be able to win the particular cards that I'm looking for as I'm playing the game. But it does add an element of randomness to this game that I really do enjoy, which is why I love to play this game whenever I get a chance. And it also means that no 2 playthroughs of the game will be the same, because I could win a different setup of cards as I play. So in order to help the process along, I'm going to be doing something a little special here. So way back in the day with early Yu-Gi-Oh card games, you could input passwords to get cards into your game. And these passwords were located on the physical cards themselves. Like if you notice the 8-digit number that's usually in the bottom left corner of a Yu-Gi-Oh card, that's a remnant of this old system, which is something I found really fun. But I won't be using it to get a card. I'm going to be using it to enable a special option. So I'm just going to input this code here. Hopefully I remember this. Of course, here I go, taking the long way to get to certain numbers. That's 0 and 5. Yes. And here is Yugi's grandpa. So this is a special feature in the game that's never told to you. Like you have to discover this either on the internet or through word of mouth. But now that I have unlocked Mr. Solomon Moto here, every time I win a duel, I will also win a card from his card pool. So, like, just to kind of go back here, so like every one of these duelists has their own unique card pool to them, and they have their own varying drop rates within them. Like some are common cards, some are incredibly rare cards. Like the fun is you never know what card you're gonna get. But I'll get one card from defeating them, and then I will also get a card from Grandpa Yugi, or Grandpa Moto, Solomon Moto, however you want to call him. I'll just call him Grandpa. So yes, I will get one card from them and one card from Grandpa. So I kind of sped this along here. Now the cool part with Grandpa's card pool is there are some really good cards that you can get from him. Like some very potent trap cards, some higher level monsters. There's one in particular I'm really hoping I get a bunch of. But it does increase my potential for getting good cards, and it does help speed things along a little bit. So here's hoping that works. And I think that wraps up any explanation that I've got here. I'm a master at long-winded explanations, but I wanted to make sure that anyone who's watching this for the first time knows what you're working with. And trust me, I'll be talking a lot more in the duel too. So why don't we get to some duels here, shall we? We'll start with the easiest opponent here, Mr. Tristan Taylor. Hiya, my name's Tristan. You've got to win 5 times, you know. Think you got what it takes? So yes, we have a preset deck of cards here, and a lot of these are really low-level cards. So like their attack, I don't even think, I might have one monster that beats 700, and that's it. Now, thankfully, Tristan's a very easy duelist to just have fun with and practice some cards and card combos. And it'll be pretty good for me to explain a whole bunch of things here. So each duelist has a hand that has a maximum of 5 cards in it. You'll draw 1 card every turn if you have an open space. And from that, it does typically follow what you would expect for basic Yu-Gi-Oh! Like you can have monsters in attack mode, you can put your monsters into defense mode. And it follows the 8,000 life point rule. So like right there, he couldn't beat my monster and he takes damage as a result. But there are mechanics to this game that help to set it apart from what we know. So we're gonna try, yeah, we'll do this. Yeah, Gale Dogra's pretty good start. There is one thing I want to be careful of. Now, in Yu-Gi-Oh, like the actual game of Yu-Gi-Oh, every monster usually has a type and an attribute, and those usually go along with saying like, hey, buff up this type of attribute, or buff up this type kind of thing. In this game, it takes it to an interesting degree that you can kind of think of it like Pokemon, whereas there is a type that is super effective against others. And it follows what I call the 2 attribute wheels. Hang on while I just get a card playing here. I got a decent setup going here so far, and thankfully we haven't run into a situation where the attribute wheel shows itself. But like as you can see here on like my cards here, like Gale Dogra is a forest attribute, Masked Clown is a shadow attribute, Kaminari Kazo or Thunder Kid, as he's been errata to in the actual game, is a thunder attribute. And there is an attribute that each one can defeat instantly, and there's one that it will be instantly defeated by. Okay. So there are 2 attribute wheels in this game. One that I call basic attributes and one that I call like elemental attributes, in a sense. So this Gale Dogra here is a forest. The forest attribute beats the wind attribute. The wind attribute beats the earth attribute. The earth attribute beats the thunder attribute. So if I faced an earth monster with common Yugioh, it doesn't matter what the stats are, I would instantly lose. Thunder attributes beat aqua attributes. And it's called aqua in this game, but it's basically water. Water attribute beats fire attribute, and fire attribute beats forest attribute. So you get the one full circle there. And then the masked clown here is part of the second wheel, whereas its shadow attribute defeats the light attribute. The light attribute defeats the fiend attribute. The fiend attribute beats the dream attribute, and the dreams attribute beats shadow. And that creates the second wheel. And then there's one last type in this game called divine, which as soon as it pops up, the first thing you're going to say is it's misspelled, and it is, which is an unfortunate thing. But those are the attribute wheels of the game. And if you see an opponent play a really strong monster in one attribute, you can at least feel safe in knowing that if you got an attribute that beats it right off the bat, it doesn't matter the stats of your card, you can beat it. So I'm really curious to see if Tristan will play a card that will defeat mine. Nope. So did you get all that with the attributes and whatnot? Did you? Good. There's a lot. Okay. Now another thing with this game too, and it's one that I didn't really do a lot of when I first played this game. Now I hope I actually get this right. Is that you can actually perform fusions. I did remember this one, okay. So you can fuse cards together by kind of overlaying them, and that lets you get access to some higher level cards right away. And that's the advantage of using some lower level monsters, is you keep your deck costs low, and you are able to get some higher level cards into your deck. In a sense. Now, the monsters that you fuse can't attack the turn that you fuse them together, so I have to wait for Bolt Escargot there to perform an attack. But I am clearly decimating Tristan over here. So I should be able to finish this off pretty soon. I just need... Yeah, we'll put Fungi of the Musk out. Man, it's so... I get nostalgic for these older cards, like, 'cause you never see them in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Unless you're playing a really weird gimmick deck or a specific set of rules. Like, I remember these cards a lot better than I do a lot of others. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, so a lot of the fusions in this game, like, they follow two basic rules. And you're mostly basing them off of their types, not their attributes, their types. So in the case there, I fused a low-level beast and a low-level warrior, which gave me the Beast Warrior Tiger Axe. That's kind of a thing you can use to remember. And with Bolt Escargot here, I fused a low-level Thunder with a low-level Aqua. So by using those fusions, you can get a lot of power on the board. And that's a good way to help you get through the very beginning of the game. So yes, as Tristan says, you get a card and a card part for construction. I'm not focusing on the construction, so Taya comes in here and says, hey, here's your first card, and you get the Inexperienced Spy. Okay. That's not really useful for me. If I played it, I can view my opponent's hand, but that's not really necessary. And a lot of the cards you will get from Grandpa here are really rare cards or ritual cards, which I rarely use. So I'm hoping I get more of his useful cards. Alright, let's keep things going here. I'm going to try to get Tristan defeated 5 times, and hopefully you'll enjoy my duels along the way. Just kind of a way for me to get used to some of the mechanics again. Now, one thing I do remember is that insects don't normally play well for fusions, so I might not be using too many insects unless they have power behind them. But another thing too, in this game, some cards do have effects. A majority of the cards do not, but some do. And some are based on either effects that they actually have or things that they did in the anime, especially the first series. So I'll just go ahead and use Legool's effect here, and we'll just do some damage to Tristan's life points, equal to Legool's attack. And why not? We'll just take these two monsters out at the same time. Now, Tristan's deck is very weak. His best monsters don't even pass 300 attack. So as long as you can get past that number, you're fine. Some of them can have 300 defense, which does suck, but there's really not going to be any problem. Okay, double defense. Abyss Flower, there we go. That's got some power. Flower power! Now, what do we got here? Caterpillar! Oh my goodness. Look at that card. Such a cute face. Alright, well, I sadly cannot pass Caterpillar, which is very sad. This is why I'm hoping I get some good cards soon. And the thing is, you really don't get a lot of good cards from Tristan. Like, Tristan has probably one of the worst pools of cards. So, I might not be getting too many cards from Tristan, but once I get to the other duelists, I think I'll have a better shot at getting good cards. Anyways, so Plant plus Warrior gives you Bean Soldier. Yes, a warrior bean. It works. I'll get Starboy going here, I guess. Now, you are a mystery, so I feel okay in attacking. Just another Steel Scorpion. Yeah, and I don't think Tristan will do any fusions, or he's not programmed to, so I think I'm okay. Okay, we got Zombie. Hang on, that might get me something. What do I have on the field? You're a plant? This might give me something. It does! Is this Pumpkin? I got a Pumpkin, the King of Ghosts. There we go. Now I've got some real power. Yes, if you do understand how your fusions work, you can get a lot of advantage. I don't think I'll be seeing the opponents do fusions until tier 2. But it is a possibility in some cases. As I do get stronger cards, I will be leering away from these trying to do fusions with these cards and just trying to get the strongest cards that I can. Now, another thing that makes this game different than traditional Yu-Gi-Oh! Is you can do any of your moves in any order you want. So as you see here, I'm attacking with my cards now because I know that, yeah, I want to attack with these cards. Yeah, I don't think Aqua Plant. So yeah, I'll do this. And every card can do one action. So either attacking or being placed in defense or using an ability, like that's their action. But I can still play cards from my hand at any time. And a thing you can do, if you try to do a fusion and it fails, the card that you're playing will overwrite what you had on the field. So sometimes, if you're unsure of how a fusion works, play the lower level one first and then play the second one on top of it that's stronger. Could make a better setup for you. Like, I'm gonna do something here. I think this will give me Cockroach Knight. Yes! So Insect plus Warrior gives you Cockroach Knight, but that's the only that's the only fusion I think you can get out of insects. So I just did another overwrite there. Hey, good old Skull Servant. Where's your king? Oh wait, that's a few years down the road. Let me just finish this up here. I think I've got a setup going now. I'm gonna win on the next turn. Yeah. We haven't had any of the attribute wheel yet, so... That's fine with me. Now, you are considered an insect. Okay. Now, another thing with this too, with the fusions, one of the most efficient fusion materials is with dragon. Now, that one didn't work, but you can do like dragon plant, dragon thunder, dragon warrior in some cases. Like dragon is efficient. So one thing I will be trying to get, especially in the early game, is dragons. Alright, so that takes care of Tristan number 2. So come on, give me something decent. I can't even use Goblin Fan. But I will use this when my duelist level allows me to. So the one downside is right now my duelist level is very low. I cannot do anything about it. I have to just keep playing. But I can make use of that monster once my duelist level hits the right number. So think of it this way. Every time you win a duel, your duelist level will go up by 1.5. It has something to do with the mechanics in the background, because as you saw there, I've done 2 duels and it's gone up 3. So you can make use of that how you will. But it should be a couple of duels from now, I would be able to put that Space Megatron into my deck. Now, with this game, as you notice, I've got my 5 cards here, so I really don't have like what you would consider the back row for cards. Zombie Machine, I don't think does anything. Okay, I was thinking Zombie Aqua, but I was actually thinking of Zombie Fish, so now we have that. But as I was saying before, in this game, we do not have a back row to play magic and traps. So how it works is, if you have a spell card in your hand, you can play it instantly. Normal spells, you just play right away. Equipment spells, you actually have to select a target to play it on. Ritual spells, you have to just do your proper amount of tributes. But then when you get to traps in this game, you are only allowed to place 1 trap per turn, and it goes into the zone just to the left of this card here. And if the opponent triggers the trap card on their turn, then it gets used up automatically once the conditions are properly met, and effects will happen, and that's just how it is. But if the opponent does not trigger the trap card, then you lose the trap card. It just fades away. But there are some good trap cards that I will be trying to keep an eye out for, and it's mostly the ones that help protect you from attacks. Bear Trap, Invisible Wire, Widespread Ruin. Like, there's a lot of good cards to keep an eye out for. Okay. Yeah. Another one of the really bad types is Reptile. Like, it's even worse than Insect for fusions. So the Sinister Serpents will probably be some of the first cards I get rid of when I actually get cards that I can replace in this deck. Okay, doing okay so far. Like, I really don't have to be scared of Tristan. Yeah. Although I will say, I don't have to be scared of Tristan, but some of the card arts in this game can be freaky. We'll play White Dolphin here. And then full-on direct attacks. And this is why I can't wait to get some really high-level cards naturally. It just speeds the process along so much. And still nothing yet for an instant defeat via attributes. Okay. I think we'll go Trollbird. Maybe I can beat an Earth? Nope. Alright, another quick case of direct attacks. Don't think this will be enough. One more turn. And still not defeating any monsters on my field. Alright, so remind me, you are considered a machine. I don't think any machine winged beasts exist. Yeah, a lot of the fusions in this game are based on just seeing a card and going, could this theoretically be a mixture of cards? Because, just for example, the Tiger Axe that I fused previously, like, that's considered a normal card in the game, the regular game. But it's saying, hey, if you fused a warrior and a beast, you could, in theory, make this. Ancient Jar, okay. I could actually use that. It's stronger and it's a rock. And we get, okay. So, as you can see there, the cost is ridiculous. I won't be using equip spells for a long time, but it's okay to have. But I will make use of that Ancient Jar. So we'll just take care of this. It's a very archaic form of sorting cards. That's 700. Okay, should be around in here. Ancient Jar. Yes. So Ancient Jar is now part of my deck, and that's fine with me because having another rock is a good thing. So I think rock confused with warrior. I know rock confused with dragon. I think there might be another combination that I'm currently not remembering. So you can make something out of that. Anyways, we'll let Mech Mole Zombie here have a shot. Alright, are we finally going to see a monster get defeated by attributes? That's what I want to see. Might as well just keep going in here with strength. Hero Shadow Scout. It's too bad you don't have your effect from the original game, which is your opponent draws 3 but mills any spell cards that get caught in that. I still remember some of my very early Yu-Gi-Oh decks would use those flip effects, and that's just because the game itself was a whole lot slower. Like you could use effects like that and they would actually hurt the opponent in a way. As Yu-Gi-Oh got more modern, then it was like, hey, your graveyard's like a second hand and you have all these extra effects. And it kinda neutralizes the benefit of that. But back in the day, some of those effects were my favorite to work with. Yeah, where's Thunder Kid there? I could be using Thunder Kid to take care of all of those Aqua types, or Aqua attributes. I swear, we'll eventually get to a point where I will be able to defeat monsters using the attribute wheel. But I will say, I am wanting to try and maneuver my deck in a way where, like, it's very obvious fusions that I can do. Like, some of these, they really don't have very obvious setups for fusions. Now, if I remember correctly, you are a zombie. Okay. And I need a fish. So zombie fish? Yep. This gives me corroding shark. So there we go. Slightly stronger. Now, I don't think machine... Will this give me... This wouldn't give me Cyber Soldier, would it? It does not. Okay. But that's fine. At least one of my fusions worked. Alright. Depending on how things work, I could finish the next turn. It's a stretch, but it is possible. Just let Mechanical Spider here deal the damage. Will I be able to do this? I don't think so. But certainly having an 1100 attack monster on the field helps. We'll go Muka Muka. Still nothing with attributes yet. I'll probably have to deal with that if I was to duel Yugi or Joey next. I think I'll duel Yugi next. I might be able to get some good cards off of Yugi. Alright, so I think that was win number 4. I'll go for one more. Griggle! Which unironically is better than some of the cards I have right now, and I'll probably use it. We get Final Flame. Okay. Yes, very costly for very little damage, so guess who will not be using that? Alright, Sinister Serpent number 2, I am going to get rid of you. Yes, this is actually the fast way to get through all of this. That's Abyss Flower, that's 750, I need 350. And yes, I am able to figure out where I am based on my knowledge of these cards, don't judge me. Alright, Griggle is in my deck. And this should be the last duel I will be doing with Tristan. Alright. Well, hey, I got Griggle right off the bat. But I will start with Wretched Ghost of the Attic. Okay. Why don't I play a second Wretched Ghost of the Attic? So here's hoping that Tristan does not play a Dreams monster, because Dreams would instantly defeat my Wretched Ghosts no matter how strong they are. And he doesn't. What would be good for me? Don't think I've got... Well, I could try that. So we'll start with Griggle here. It's another 1,100. Alright, so I have a chance. So, I'm trying to remember if, like, I plant plus zombie but on the low scale, it does give me something good. So plant plus zombie gives me wood remains if it's a low level. If it's a slightly higher level, you would get Pumpkin the King of Ghosts. Okay. So I'm gonna do... Yeah, I'm gonna do Jinzo here. A little bit more damage here. Man, I can't believe we've gone this whole duel, or this whole episode, and not had any attribute battles yet. Alright, so Warrior plus Machine, another one that I know of, and it gives me a very decently strength Cyber Soldier. Okay, so that is... Now hold on, are you treated as a zombie or a plant? You are treated as a zombie, okay. So I can't double up on zombie, because that would not give me a fusion. Alright, all things considered, I should be able to win on the next turn. Of course, this is when I always go, well, what fusions could I do? If possible. Don't think Aqua Plant gives me anything. Definitely not Aqua Insect. Maybe it's just a good thing if I finish this off. And now I can give you a very strong punch! There we go. Now we get to see that life point counter go down. And that takes care of this game. Now, it should say 5 times. Yep, beat me 5 times. Alright, what's my next card going to be? We get a Dancing Elf, which I will actually make use of. And we get Commencement Dance, another ritual. Okay, so yeah, Duelist level right now is 23. I think that's 1 off of Space Megatron, so I will not be putting that in my deck just yet. But I will take out the Sinister Serpent, and I will put in the Dancing Elf. And that's because of her type, which is Fairy, and another subtype in this game, which is Female Monsters. And they give their own set of unique fusions, so it works for me. But anyways, I think I've gone on long enough for this episode here. I know I get very explanation heavy on the first episodes of most new things, but this is the kind of game that does need a bit of an explanation to get going. But once you actually start playing the game, well, things move along just fine. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Again, like I said, it was a little slow, but it'll pick up a little bit more because I won't have to explain as much. So the next duelist that I face will be a bit stronger, and I'll actually have to start thinking a little bit for certain situations. I could very well lose too. But like I said, even if you lose, you get benefits. So we'll see what happens. But that'll be on the next episode. So thank you very much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Take care, stay safe, and have a good day.